Hey everybody, just getting everything set up. Gonna hear a lot of noise in the background. Put some music up. Hope you guys like Guns N' Roses. Kind of like going back to some of my older collection for music. Got a nice little speaker on top. Alright, so I'm gonna start working on this page. I believe I did a live not too long ago, which was just the initial pencils on this. Just the red line. So you guys have an idea. Basically, everything kind of starts out this way. Very rough sketch, iPad Pro, using Procreate, and then I just send everything over, and I do most of my stuff on my desktop. The red line it's basically just for cleaner information, so I kind of know exactly what I'm drawing. I do have previous pages that I did before, just like this one. I have to fix this one a little bit, but I'm going to save that for another day. Hello to everybody coming in. Hopefully you guys stick around. It's going to be a long one. You hear a lot of noises because it's 94 degrees, it's humid, and I have my AC on because I got everything else closed to avoid any other kind of like noise filtering out. Filtering is my mistake. Alrighty, so let's get going. I hope this thing doesn't decide to like disconnect right in the middle of me doing something, because it has that habit of doing that all the time. I'm adjusting the mic a bit because it's like right in my face. Okay, new layer. Wow. I always say this: anytime you get a new layer, just label it right away so you don't forget what you're working on. And comes down also to the fact that I know I'm not the only one, but I'll start working on something and I'm like right into it, and next thing I know I'm on the wrong layer and I gotta do the whole thing all over again. I've been looking sometimes it's not as bad that it's kind of like it hasn't affected the full page because it's so early on. Apologize for that. I do have water in case I need it. I'm gonna talk about this little pink bottle because that was the only color I could find, and I don't mind pink. All right, so let's see. Gonna come here. Gonna lower the opacity a bit. I'm gonna start with her. Main reason I'm gonna start with her is because she's facing straight front, and I can use the symmetry tool to just get her face kind of evened out. Even though it's kind of there, but you can tell by the eyes are kind of offset. It doesn't look too good. And let me see. I need a reference page to remember what I'm actually doing. Because it's been a while since I worked on this page, and it's been a while since I worked on this comic in general. So I'm kind of thrown off a bit on certain designs that I did, certain design choices that I did. But I feel like cheating. I feel like just copying and pasting from something, but no, I'm not gonna do that. Gonna lock you up. Okay, let's get to it. Too much talking. Uh, oh wow, that's so thin. See. Don't let anybody tell you using a signature tool is cheating. It's not. It just saves you time when you're actually having to do something that's kind of like it's front on like what she is. So I gotta fix that a little bit now. Actually, let me keep going. I'm not a fan of like, oh, that was bad. I didn't realize what happened there. All right, I gotta turn off the symmetry tool for that part. Okay. Let's go to the curve. Let's do a separate layer for this one. Actually, let me try something. So I tend to work in separate layers for certain things, mostly because if you're adding an element to something, like what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna put some glasses on her. If you're doing it on the same layer that you initially did it, put everything else on, you're gonna have to find a way to erase around it. And then what happens with that is you're gonna affect the rest of your work that you already did on that page. Because remember, when you're doing everything on one layer, it all blends together. You can't just like, I'm gonna decide I'm gonna draw this on top of what I already have, and it's not gonna affect anything else underneath it. It is gonna affect it. Let's see. Let's fix this part. This is go. Okay, I'm gonna turn this thing off right now. Oh, not even that. I'm just gonna bring it down to where it was working. Right, and that. Yeah. In case you hear the music in the back, um, basically playing Use Your Illusions 1. Some of the songs are really good, but then I think Axel goes crazy on some of them, like just cursing his head off. Hopefully, I won't get like some kind of warning for language. I can't control what he's saying. I get this cough because I'm like not allergic to it, but it's like cold air gets to me really easily. So this is gonna work here. I'm doing this freehand for one reason because I am not sure how it's gonna work out, but now I gotta figure out this part. No, I'm not liking that. So let's get out of that. Shape of your facing. Okay. Figure out what her ear was. I will move on to the next part. I feel rusty doing this. Again, it's been a while. Thing is, I believe I mentioned it before in the previous live that I did when I was doing, I don't know if it was the other pages or I was doing the red line for this. I had my dad in rehabilitation because he got really sick, and I'm kind of like torn between getting things done for him, getting this done also just trying to make sure everything is good with him where he's at because it's not what he's used to. I'm trying to remember her. Yeah, there we go. So he's been in there since June 1st. And like I was saying, I'm kind of like going between seeing him, getting things done for him, and going to work. It's not it's not easy trying to like just sit down and just do something for like to say for myself. As selfish as it sounds, it's because again I feel like I have my responsibilities for him, but I feel like I need to get things done for myself too. Trying to figure this out. I messed up somewhere. I'm trying to just figure it out. But that's just how I am right now because I have my mom with me. So I'm trying to help her out too. Trying to prepare for anything that can happen because you never know. I'm gonna fix her chin a little bit. I don't like it. Actually, I messed up. She just has like this. She does have a pointed chin. And I'm sorry if I'm like all over the place, but this is just how I am. Merge that. Come here. So adding some details. Details, I always put it on a separate layer. Main reason is, again, if you mess up somewhere, it's not working out, you can always just erase it. And I'm gonna save this now because in my genius, I do this stuff and I literally forget to save until it's the end. And if something goes wrong, I'm totally screwed because I got to do it all over again, and that's not fun. All right, so this is kind of like my fun part. I love doing this part. Probably gonna use the real G pen for this one. She has black hair, but never make it too black. Like there should always be like a little space. Give it like that little shine. And that's one of the reasons I kind of always add in these kind of like break lines right here, kind of so I have a guide on which way the hair is moving, and I leave those little spots on top like a little highlight. I do it by sections. It's not the cleanest, and I actually like that. I feel like if you're too focused on making everything look way too like pristine and clean and uniform, it looks too artificial. Like I'm not great at this technique. Took me kind of years to figure out exactly how to do it by like staring at comics, especially like mangas because they're black and white. Like color comics, well, they'll kind of you'll get the hint of it, but then they always put in like that little. If they have black hair, they'll put in like a purple. If it's supposed to be like really really black, or they'll put in like a dark blue right under it, and the black acts as like a shadow contrast in the highlights. This here. And it's not pretty, but it works for what I'm doing. This is like very therapeutic, honestly. Just doing this. And all I'm just doing is just cutting in blacks, blacks, blacks. Get that there, right here. Alright. That panel's kind of sort of done. Actually, this one, lasso fill. I'm keeping this in details also, what I'm going to do right now. Yeah, that looked ugly. So I didn't like that. I'm just going to use my pen. Alright, that panel's done. I really need a moderator for this stuff. Half the time I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Alright. Just moving up. Alright. Now, I have a habit of always starting from the bottom and going my way up. Mostly because I like working in the bigger panels over small ones first. So next panel is going to be this guy right here. I'm going to go to my reference page really quick. Thing is that when I tend to, because this is like a bonus chapter for my comic. Reason I did it is that I didn't want to interrupt in the flow of what was going on in this chapter, in this volume. I mean, so this is just kind of like something that kind of happens on the side, a little bit off screen, you could say. It's like this bonus thing. If you watch movies, like a bonus feature or whatever. And the reason I'm kind of doing it is that I didn't want it to mess with the flow of the actual story and what was happening there. So I'm always like I try to keep things very like what's the word to use, but like in this volume 4 Second Revolution, there's it's basically a big chunk of the book. It's well, almost the entire book is a flashback of what happened prior to the events of volumes 1 through 3. I am not the type of writer that I like is stringing along like a mystery kind of thing. And especially in the way I am thinking about this book, it's not going to be a very long book, very ongoing series. I think the max I'm going to probably do for this, it's maybe 5 arcs to it to build up to it. And then each arc is probably going to be 3 books. I'm talking maybe it's like 15 in total. So the first 3 books are the first arc of what already happened, and volume 4 is kind of again it's another arc that's starting, but this is more based on what happened to build up to everything that happened in the first 3. And if I were to add in this bonus story, like just right at the beginning, or in between, or between like what was going on, it's very jarring. Like it's gonna throw everything off. And I personally felt like I needed to say this part of the story because it was kind of hinted at in volume 3, and I never really expanded onto it too much. So I just took this opportunity, like, all right, I have like basically like 4 or 5 pages that had nothing on it that I didn't know what to do. I don't have any like bonus material like from the creation of this book anymore because I put everything in the first 3. So I decided like, all right, let me just do this. Now, unlike the first, when I did that panel, he's looking off onto the side, so there's no point in me doing symmetry to it right here because he's at like a 3/4 view. One of my biggest gripes, for at least for me, is that I'm not good with faces at all, and I'm even worse being consistent with like messed that up. It was so good and I messed it up. Here we go. Now I'm regretting it. Like I'm not good with eye shape, like the this part. I don't know what you call it. I can't think right now. But I've never been good with that. And I tend to flip flop a lot on how I want to do it. And I've also never liked, give you an example. Like I never liked doing this like a closed. It always bothered me, so I kind of keep it open, and that's just like one of my things. That's something that I like doing. I'm not going too crazy with like all the details in the mouth and all that stuff. Just like some artists out there that are just like so freaking detailed with everything, and I can't do that. I'm very I'm simplistic in all everything I pretty much do. I'm very simplistic. I can't really go too crazy on a lot of super details because I'm doing this whole thing on my own, for starters. And it's not it's not easy. That's why it's like you have to like really devote it to this craft because it's not something that can be like, okay, well, I have an idea, I want to make this story, and then once you sit down and actually try to do it, it's work. It's like having another job. Don't let anybody tell you different. This is basically having another job that you're hoping to get paid for. That you're hoping that all the work you're putting in, all those hours that nobody sees it, will help pay off. There's a few lucky people out there that I can say have gone this route and have made it a living or subsidize their some extra income for their life, but it wasn't handed to them. They had to work for it. They had to figure out how to do it, how to get into this. Like my biggest issue is I have a hard time trusting other people with my work, and it's honest truth. I have a hard time trusting people because I can hire an inker who probably do a much better job than I'm doing. I could probably hire like because I don't do that. This is not a colored book. This is a black and white book. But I could try to hire somebody who can do the tones. But would it be to not my standard, but will it be to what I like, to how I do it? That's the biggest problem for me. Oops. See, that's kind of like my biggest problem. That I know how my lines work. I know what I want to do. And I think that's what it kind of comes down to is that it's hard for me to like just let somebody jump in and like, oh yeah, I'll ink this for you. I'll tone this for you. Do this for you. I'm like, I appreciate the offer, but I know what I want. I know how I want it done, and it might not be how you do things, but this is how I expect it to be done, and it'll probably cause like a clash. And I try not to be confrontational when it comes to other people's stuff or how they want to do it, because everybody's different. Yeah, just want to say hi to everybody who's been coming by. But this is just like I said, this is how I do things. It's kind of stupid, I admit it, because I can easily just say like, oh, I want to collaborate with somebody, and they can take a load off of what I'm doing. But it comes down to is just that I know how I like my lines. I know how I like things done, and I'm so stubborn when it comes down to that if somebody else comes in, they're like, yeah, but I can do it this way. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Because if you want to do that for your book, that's kind of cool. But I have a specific way that I like things done. And I'm not going to lie, yeah, it could be, it's hard. I'm not a hard person to work with. Like, I'll listen to your ideas. Like, it's not, I have no problem with that. Like, if you have a good idea, no problem. Like, oh, maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that. Like, no problem with that. But how would it work for my book? How would it work for my style? That's what it kind of comes down to for me. Yeah, it's too thick. You say like for me, like I right there, I know I made a mistake. But anybody else coming in, they're like, yeah, but it kind of looks good like that. Like maybe for what you like, for your style. Like I'll probably have questions like, oh, why are you like doing it? Why are you doing feathering that way? I don't know. I just like it. Like it just works for me. It might not work for you, but it works for me. Like stylistically, this is what I like, and it's like it'll be hard for somebody else to be like, well, it should be done XYZ way. Like it could be, but you can do that for yourself. And I think and I admit it. Like that's kind of like where my stuff comes down to. It's like I just have that hard time like letting go, like of my own work. Like uh, I just know what I like. I know how I want it done. I know where my lands are. Like honestly, like if you were to see this right here, just in general, let's see, like this. Like how would you interpret that? Even if I gave you like a character sheet and all that stuff, like how do you interpret that? Because it's even though for me it's clean, for somebody else it's gonna look like I have no idea where this ends and where this starts. I just realized that it's super dark and I do not put a light. So give me 1 second. All right, there we go. Now I can see my shiny forehead. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm gonna change up the music a little bit. I kind of like use your illusions too from Guns N' Roses better than Illusions 1. I think the songs are just better. Alright, so let me get back to what I'm getting to. Okay. I'm gonna start on her. Oh, you can't see where I was pointing, but I'm gonna start on her. And let me look at my little reference page. In case you guys are wondering, I'm going to show you the page I'm kind of working from. So this is a page I drew earlier. This is kind of, I think this is the second page of the bonus story. So everything I'm doing is based on this because I forgot exactly what I was doing, clothes wise and tone wise. Which reminds me, let's put that over there. Make it a little bit bigger. Don't worry, I'm just talking to you guys on what I'm doing myself right now. Alright, I'm going to say hi to everybody who's joining. Hopefully you guys stick around to the end. Pretty quick when it comes to this. Let's see there. I don't have to do much, honestly. It's pretty simple. Turn that off for now. One layer. Alright, that's all I needed to do. Alright, let's get back to this. Save. That's like a bad habit of mine when I'm doing these lives. I forget to save. I always forget to save when I'm doing stuff. Like if I'm doing this on my own, I'm not having to engage or talk to somebody, I constantly save, constantly save. But when I'm trying to be engaging, trying to like talk to guys through my process, I just keep forgetting to save, and that's a big no-no. You gotta keep your head on your shoulders and remember to save. Like I would love to do a live. It's just me drawing pencil and paper, pen on paper. I just don't have a lot of space where I can like hook up the camera and the mic and all that stuff and do it in a way that I can see if you guys are joining in or in kind of be that engaging, because I would just be straight drawing. I wouldn't even really look. Like I look up every now and then to see who's coming in, who's leaving, and I just try to be as engaging as I can. So I like talking about the process of creating comics in general. And I've said this before. You can ask 100 people who draw comics, like, what's your process? And guaranteed, you're gonna get like 100 different answers, because there is like no real right way or wrong way of doing this. And I think that's what makes this like the most interesting, like one of the most interesting things that you can probably do. Something's bothering me about this. See, if I was doing this by hand, I would be so pissed off at myself. Because initially, I never drew this on paper. This is straight digital. So if this was actually penciled traditionally, it would be so much tighter, so much cleaner. Like all the information is right there. and there's no way for me to make a mistake really. But because I did this straight digitally, I have a lot of mistakes that I have to correct in either the red line process or as I'm inking it. So my biggest thing right now is that my nib was too big, and it just won't really translate that well when you're printing. It's gonna look really muddy, meaning like everything's just gonna like kind of be mushed together. I saw that the new version, Clip Studio, which is what I'm using, they finally have like a shape stabilizing tool, like in Procreate, which I think is kind of silly that it's took them so long just to get that in. But I use Procreate. I think you only can use it on iPads, and I got Procreate when I got my iPad. I don't even like going on like 8 years ago. I'm still using the same one, still working out great. But it's like, why did it take you guys so long to get such a necessary tool? But okay, oh my god, this is bothering me. So I'm gonna close this one for now. I gotta look for another page, specific page, specific page. Because her hairstyle is pretty unique, and I'm messing up royally. So I gotta look for it. Trying to see exactly. Here we go. So that's what I mean. It's a unique hairstyle. It's a little bit more kempt, I could say, in the bonus chapter. Here it's a bit more messy, but this is exactly what I need. So I'm gonna put this up as my guide. I don't want it that high, so it's a guide. I'm just trying to see how I did this. I don't even know where I got this hairstyle from her from. I think I looked it up somewhere. Yeah, put 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Alright, there we go. Get some guidelines here when I do the highlights. And like I was saying, it's a freaking process. Alright, I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna go back to what I had up originally because it's a 3/4 shot pulled back, and That's something I think script writers, like comic script writers, tend to use that a lot, like camera terminology, like for movies and TV, like full shot, 3/4 shot, half shot, stuff like that. Get some water. Yeah, let's see. That's good. Um, Alright, going to details. Going to make her glasses again. Again, this is on a separate layer. Put down here. I'm not going to put one on the top. That's because it's going to interfere with the shape of her eyes over there. Alright, so that was on a separate layer. Go back to original. Yeah, one button. Yeah, I just keep looking up to see exactly what I'm doing. Oh, I think I made that too big. It's supposed to be more like this. So this is one thing I'm saying about what I was doing initially. Like her shoulders were all off. Everything's off. Like atom- atomically, not atomically. I can't even think of anatomy wise. Everything is kind of off on her because I was like thinking like, oh yeah, let me just do this quick. She's just wearing a hoodie, but it still has to look like the clothes is on her. It just can't be like, oh yeah, she's like wearing a hoodie and it's baggy on her. It shouldn't really matter, right? In a way, it kind of does because you need the shapes in there. I live in New York. Once fall comes in, towards the end of like going into spring, everybody's wearing hoodies around here. I'm used to seeing people wearing hoodies. Girls tend to wear like they like wearing baggier ones. Make it a little bit thicker. Let me see. One thing, always add like seam lines to your clothes to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. It also tends to look a little flat. Okay, that's good. Alright, see, this with this off. So she has a black shirt under. Okay, so my mistake was right here. It shouldn't be here. And we're gonna fix this up. It's like easy fix. Now I'm doing that first for a specific reason. Now I'm just wondering one thing. Let's see. So you're not gonna see what I'm doing because I opened up another page, but I just want to check one thing. Details, yes, okay. Details. This is just a really quick way of just adding in solid blocks. It's under the shape tool. It's lasso fill, in case you guys want to know. Let's do that. Okay, switch it up. Let's do her hair. I kind of learned not too long ago. I sometimes forget to breathe when I'm doing this stuff, which is kind of funny. Like I hold my breath sometimes, and then I just feel like I just exhale after I do something. So the talking helps with the breathing. Because sometimes I feel like, why am I so winded? Why am I? I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting down. So why am I so winded? And it turned out like I'm not breathing. I'm just holding my breath if I'm doing this. This is another reason I kind of like doing bigger panels first, because it just loosens my hands up and it kind of like builds up my confidence in what I'm doing a bit. Like I know what I'm doing, but sometimes I feel like it's not working out because I'm not warmed up enough. Go down here for a second. Got to add the black into her eyebrows. There's a black hoodie, so fix that up. One thing I don't do, I try not to make it too much of a solid black, especially because there's a shadow right there, and that can kind of blend in together, so then you don't really know what's what. So you gotta kind of keep your eyes out open on that. Then I'll do this, so it breaks it up a little bit more. Okay. Now this comes down to like another thing I was talking about earlier. It's like I know my lines. I know how they work for me. So that's why I tend to ink faster when I'm doing my own work. Because I have that confidence. I know what my lines are. I'm going to have to stand up soon. It's almost been an hour since I did this, so it's not too bad. I don't know if I'm gonna work on the backgrounds today. I feel like I'm just gonna do this much, and I'm just gonna call it a morning. Well, actually, afternoon it's 12:36. But I'm gonna see. I'm still thinking about it. I remember when I was doing an internship years ago in college, like part of the requirements for like graduation and stuff. I had to do an internship, and the person I was were doing the internship with was photographer that did a lot of landscape photography. Not so much landscape, but like he did a lot of photos of the city. A lot of his things were seen in the postcards that you get at like the souvenir shops. All right, that's ugly. Let me make it a little bit smaller. Where's the whole thing? So he was pretty much like a master at whatever version of Photoshop was being used at that time. Like he had the manual, he read it, he knew how to do things with it, which is kind of cool because I was going more on the digital path anyway. And his biggest thing with me was that he would ask me questions, and I am not an out loud thinker, meaning that I you can't just like ask me something and then I'm gonna talk you through my entire thought process because that's not me. And he would ask me stuff about like, okay, what do you have to do in this situation? How would you fix this on Photoshop? How would you do that? And I'll be quiet, and he's like, "Mm, do you know or don't you know?" And I will say like, I'm thinking about it, and he would just be like, can you like tell me what you're thinking about? Like, can walk me through your process? And I'm like, I can't. It's not that I don't want to. It's just that's not how my brain works. So he would like, yeah, you have to learn how to think out loud. You got to be able to like walk through people what you're trying to do, this and that. I was like, all right, but it's just that's never been me. I just never been an out loud thinker, and it kind of comes down to like my personality type, the way I am. I'm not a loud person. I'm not a flashy person. I am not like actively seeking attention. So it's kind of like, even for me when I'm doing this kind of stuff, like I'm just talking. I'm not really going 100% in what, oh, this is my thought process. This is why I'm adding this line here, and then I'm doing this, and then I'm doing that. And like that's not me. Like I'll kind of sort of talk about it just so you guys understand it, but I've always been more of like a quiet thinker. It's like good example. Like that's how my dad is. My dad is like that. Like very introverted. He's introverted, and my brother and my mom are more extroverted. Like they'll literally They'll just tell you what's on their mind, and that's pretty much it. Like, okay, this is what I'm thinking about. This is what it is. This is what that is. I'm like, okay. And then in my head, I'm like, I'm processing everything. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's not like like I don't want to talk or express what's like in my head and stuff like that. It's just never been me. That's the only way I can put it. It's never been me. Like I've known people that they'll tell you the entire process of what they're gonna do, break it down to the smallest detail. Ah, crap. Okay, you see, this is why I'm glad I have like a reference thing because I just messed up. Okay, let me turn. Yeah, I'm just gonna undo a lot because I don't want to erase because I'm gonna mess up. All right, so forgive me for this delay, but again, this is what it kind of comes down to. All right, that's good. And I think when I did yeah, that's what it was. Because I'm looking at the first page, and I realized that he has his sleeves rolled up. It's always good to have reference on what you're doing, because this is what happens when you don't. Look, I caught it when I did. If not, oh my goodness, I would have been back later fixing it. This one, that's okay. Yeah, I'm glad I caught this when I did, because I would have been so upset. Alright, so this little thing decided to give out on me again. I gotta wait till it decides it wants to connect, but I'm surprised it lasted as long as it did. We're over an hour, and it just decided to disconnect right now. So I gotta give it a minute. There we go. There's a singer that I don't know her, but I used to be well, I'm still in the fandom like the band that she was in. She literally did a 10-hour live all by herself, first time ever. I think she basically used the AI to help her get everything set up, which in a sense is kind of like I'd say it's kind of interesting, even though I'm not a big fan of AI itself, especially if you're doing something like what you do here for comics and stuff like that. I'm very kind of against that because remember, AI is just taken from images already found online. It's not actually creating anything brand new. Lots of details right here. Oh yeah, everything's white from the hoodie. Nah, I didn't like that. We're separated. Like that person I was doing an internship with, he'll probably be asking me like, "Whoa, why are you doing it this way?" Simple answer: this is quick, and I like the fact that it's not uniformed. I'm just making a shape that kind of goes into the contours of the lines already there. Double checking to make sure I'm on the right layer, because God forbid if I wasn't. It's just easy way to do black fills. That's about it. There's nothing deeper than that. It seems about to run out of battery soon. I think I can get to it. Hour and a half with this thing. It's like how the shapes come out. It's really one of the main reasons. Go back to this layer. Put the pen. Inside the pen. Kind of forgot to add that in because it's not like cheekbone kind of thing. It's more like it's like from a fight that they just had in the previous volumes. So I gotta keep showing a little bit of like they're not 100% recovered. Yeah, I'm not going for anything specific. I'm just adding these lines in, so it's like a little bit of a texture, a little bit of feathering, which I'm not good at. Honestly, I'm not. I talked to my older brother this morning, talked to his kids, and they know that I draw because I've done like custom, well, not custom, but I made Christmas cards for them. I made birthday cards for them. So they know that I draw. I was showing them the initial thing I was working on. And my niece, she wants me to draw her a princess with a rose. My youngest one, the youngest nephew, oh my god, I forgot what he said. I think he said he wanted like Captain America, and then the oldest one wants also Captain America with an eagle and with the American flag behind him. So I'm like, all right, you guys want me to work. All right, let's see. Bam, let me zoom out. Okay, little thing is not working again. Okay, so that's what I got now. All right, I'm gonna turn off the reference thingy, reference page. Now, I need, honestly, stretching out because I've been sitting down for an hour and 13 minutes doing this. I feel tired. So I'm debating if I should just start with the backgrounds right away just to get this page done, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go for this bonus chapter. I should have just made it a full-on thing, full-on chapter in the book to start with instead of a bonus. Bonus would have been like 2-3 pages, but I went 8. Alrighty, see. Turn it off. Just taking a look if I missed anything. I'm gonna save that for now, and I'm gonna. What I tend to do, that what Clip Studio Paint has, it has a. Well, I have the EX version, and it has you have the 3D comic book preview. So that's what's processing right now. You guys want to see, so I'm gonna put it right here. So basically, this is how the preview is. You can move it around up and down. You can see the thickness of how it is. This is set on perfect binding. If I do saddle stitch, it's like that. Actually, I think that's perfect binding if I'm correct. Yeah, that's stitch binding, so perfect binding. So that's how it will look like perfect bound. This is the last page of volume 4. If you see black, it's always going to be flashback. And I tend to do little images like this just to give you an idea of what's gonna happen in the bonus story. It's like almost like with them, I did a reverse, like almost like a negative, because he has black, and I just decided to leave it clear, while she's wearing white, and I decided to add all that stuff in. So this gives you an idea on how the page will look when it's printed. This is really helpful because it kind of tells you where it's going to be trimmed and where all the information should be falling in, even though you have guides on the actual page that you're drawing on. If you leave them there. So that's that. This is the page I just did right now. So I'm just going back and forth, just checking on if I missed anything. It's looking. Going back on this one. Okay. So it's pretty consistent. That's what I'm looking for, that everything looks consistent. Now, it's never going to be all one-to-one. I don't know how some artists can do like a one-to-one reproduction of every single character. Like everything's like spot on. I am not that skilled. I wish I was, but I'm not. So I still got this page, and you can see this red line going around. So that's the actual border. This is where all the information has to stay in, but because I can reach longer, I'm just gonna make this into like a full page at this part. Same thing here, this is full page. So once I start working on this one, I might just go back and take panels that are already done and just pop them here somehow. Not sure. Here is the next page. I got this one. And I have no idea what I'm going to do here. Because once I do that, I have one. Basically, this is the inner back cover, and that's the actual cover. This is the back cover. I haven't done anything here yet. Usually, it's going to have some like text talking about what's going to happen in the book. Oops, just playing around with this. So this is the cover. I had to redo it. I did this as a live also, like the full cover, but I had to fix it because he looked too bulky, so I made him smaller. I'll give you guys a quick look. This is what I mean about this is not even done. Let me actually show you something. I gotta do it like this because there's no way. Right here, this is what I still have to do. I still have to add in the gray tone. So the book is inked, it's detailed, has effects, has everything done, but I still have to do the tones. And my lord, does that take time? That takes a lot of time to do tones. So that's why anybody tells you, oh, comics are easy because you're just drawing and you put words. No, it's not. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know what your story is. You gotta know how to make everything work. You gotta make sure the story makes sense. You gotta make sure your models, your model sheet, and what you're drawing is as close to the same as possible. The worst thing to do is you're reading something and the character changes, like almost like what I did my mistake right here on this first panel. I gave him a long sleeve, and then when I looked at my previous page, I'm like, oh wait, he had his sleeves rolled up, and he has like a long sleeve shirt underneath. So I had to fix all of that. Luckily, I caught it before it was actually done and sent to the printers and in your hands. Because right there, it's jarring. It's a jarring continuity error. And I will always say this: you have to look at your comics like it's a movie or a TV show or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to make the reference to. These panels are all camera shots, and you have to treat them as such. That's why I kind of get bothered by people who do like really overly complicated um, dynamic poses for like such a simple thing that you're telling in a story. It's kind of, if I were to take this first panel and I decided to do like, oh, I'm gonna do like this worm's eye view, bird's eye view, and that's a dramatic shot for something that is not dramatic going on. It's just a conversation between two people. Now you can say like, well, you can always adjust it and switch it around and make it like, oh, it can look like they're about to step on something or blah blah blah, or make it like somebody's flying over them, which is an ability that almost all of them have, but there's no sense to it. They're walking down the street, they're having a conversation, there's nothing there for you to go very dramatic. Now it was supposed to be, maybe they were indoors, maybe they were talking about something that they've been holding back for a long time. It's a different thing. Then you can kind of go dramatic with the panels because you want to be able to show their hands, because your hands are very expressive. I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes gesture a lot with my hands when I'm trying to make a point and show something. And that's a good visual cue when you're drawing a conversation between people. But the way this story works with them, they are talking about something important, but it's not something that they have to draw attention to themselves. If you read it, I hope you guys will read it, but they're just talking about a situation that happened and how it kind of sort of brings them together. And this is just like, they're outside in the street and they're just talking about it because they needed to get out of where they were. They needed that space. So that's how I kind of come down to this. It's hard to complain. This is why I really don't talk out loud too much about my thought process, because I know what it's about. And I know what I'm looking for and what I'm doing. And having to explain it is not easy for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a break because I've been almost going for 90 minutes. I'm tired of sitting down. And backgrounds are gonna be the next one. So appreciate everybody who's come by. Appreciate anybody who followed. I'm not constantly checking the chat line, but I do appreciate anybody who's come by and check out the store. You can get Psycho Revolutions Volume 1 and 2 there. 3 is getting ready. Where I initially would get it printed, they've actually stopped their publishing, their printing process for comics. Some legality issues with them and what used to be their company. So I'm looking for another one to do Volume 3. And I'm hoping the quality is just as good. Once that's out, I'll make sure to let you guys know. Again, thank you for coming by, and I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.